Hi, Liz. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
One key topic for tonight's debate is, of course, the economy. What are you expecting to hear from both President Trump and Joe Biden on that issue?
Well, it's certainly a very important issue to voters, and we know that President Trump, in just under 4 years, delivered the greatest economy we had ever seen. When you're talking about the census numbers that just came out from last year, 2019 had the lowest poverty level on record and the highest median income household increase on record. Those are real results that President Trump can point to. As a contrast, the median household income only ever hit an all-time high for the Biden family itself when Joe Biden was in office, not for the American people. And so on issue after issue, President Trump's going to be able to show what he's done, record-making promises kept in office, versus Joe Biden, who's never accomplished anything for the American people and now has adopted a very radical agenda that would destroy this economy with trillions of dollars in new tax hikes, a vast expansion of the regulatory state that would stifle innovation and would certainly destroy the V-shaped recovery we already have underway.
And today we did see consumer confidence hit the highest level since before the coronavirus pandemic, with future expectations surging. Americans, saying they are confident in where we are currently standing and that we can recover. Why is President Trump the right leader to continue this recovery over the next 4 years?
Absolutely, because he has pro-growth policies. He built a successful business in the private sector. He knew what we needed to get in Washington, which was get the government out of the way, lower taxes, decrease the regulatory burden, which really limits Americans' ability to go out there and start their own business and employ people. We've lowered our tax burden for every American. We've seen the results. They are amazing when you look at the numbers that we had never seen been able to be accomplished in history, whether it's wage growth, whether it's unemployment across the board. And President Trump can do it again. And he did it because he followed through on his promises, not just cutting taxes and cutting regulation, but getting great trade deals, getting rid of NAFTA, which was supported by Joe Biden, taking a tough line on China, which Joe Biden completely sold out Americans for the Chinese Communist Party. And his family, again, enriched themselves, but the American workers, their jobs were taken away. So on issue after issue, President Trump can show that contrast. And we have the pro-growth policies and the prescription once again that we know, as long as the government gets out of the way and let American people do the work, we know the American dream is there for everyone to take.
You mentioned this briefly, but I do want to go a little deeper. A key issue, of course, directly impacting the U.S. economy is trade, specifically with China. President Trump has said China wants Joe Biden to win because he would be much softer on Beijing than he is. What can we expect in the U.S. relationship with China if President Trump is reelected, and how would that differ under a President Biden?
Well, absolutely. If you look at the records, they couldn't be more different. And if you look at what's happened with the swamp, they've appeased China for decades. They let China into the World Trade Organization. It's been millions of jobs lost for American workers and more millions of jobs created for the Chinese Communist Party. And President Trump's been talking about this for years, even before he came to Washington. And he's the only person to actually follow through. He slapped tariffs on China. He labeled them a currency manipulator, exactly what he said he was going to do. He's been tough on their human rights violations as well. And you can certainly expect more will be coming in response to this pandemic from communist China. He's already removed the U.S. from the World Health Organization, which lied for China and covered up this outbreak and said it wasn't contagious. Well, we're going to continue to show that tough stance. In contrast, what is Joe Biden ever going to do? Americans can depend on President Trump to actually hold them accountable. They were always the greatest threat facing the United States in recent years, and President Trump is the man to put America first, not China.
All right, Liz Harrington, the national spokesperson for the RNC, joining us to discuss the economic message in tonight's presidential debate. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.